We're in the final assembly stage of our retractable awning. And what Fred is doing here is he's preparing the frame for final assembly. The primary bar that you see running the length of the awning there is a steel profile, and that's called the torsion bar. The entire awning will be built off of that steel bar. Take note of the color matching on all of our profiles. We go to great lengths through various processes and through various manufacturers to have a very nicely color matched product. And what we're doing here essentially is building an awning exactly the way that it will be hung on the house when it's ready. The production fixture that Fred is working on here, the blue rack, mimics the wall of the house. And when we're finished, we're going to be able to run this awning and test it completely so that we know that when it gets installed on a homeowner's house, that it's going to operate beautifully. Now, what Fred has just installed here are called lateral arms. And lateral arms are spring-loaded arms that project the awning. There are springs inside these profiles that put the awning under tension. And when an awning projects out, it's the tension and the springs in the arm that project the awning. The awning that Fred's building here is 15 feet wide, and it'll have a projection of 13 feet off of the wall. What Fred's doing now is setting the pitch of the awning. All of the retractable awnings that we manufacture can be set to a variety of angles coming off of the wall of the house. And we custom set them during our manufacturing process. So Fred has set the pitch to where we want it to be, and then he's locking that pitch up on the pitch adjuster. The chain is used to measure the pitch. Fred moved the arm till the chain was just off the floor, and that way we know we have the dimension that we're looking for. And what Fred's going to do now is the same process on the other side, so that when the awning first projects off the wall of the house, it'll be level and it'll look quite nice. Fred's now attaching some decorative elements to the awning to hide some of the fasteners and hardware that's on the awning. All of our awning features marine grade 18/8 stainless steel hardware, but we still put covers on it just to give it a better finished appearance. The next step in the process is to attach the end brackets of the awning. The end brackets are what hold the roller tube and support the roller tube and create an axis point or a pivot point for the roller tube. And there'll be one of them at each end of the awning. Earlier we saw this profile being cut and punched. This is known as the tray. This is a unique element to craft build awnings. And the purpose of the tray is to keep the roller tube and the fabric that's rolled up on it from sagging or deflecting too much. We're trying to build an awning with a nice, tight, taut fabric cover, and this profile, unique to our product, is what will help us maintain a nice, taut fabric. And that's being fastened to brackets that Fred previously attached to the awning. The next profile to be attached to the awning is called the bottom cover. The awning that Fred's building is called our Manor model, and the Manor is unique in the market in that it's a full cassette awning. When the awning is completely assembled and retracted, the entire unit will be enclosed in a protective cover. What Fred's attaching right now is the bottom cover of the awning. What Fred's attaching now is a bumper, and that bumper keeps the two metal parts that come together during retraction from rubbing on each other and marring the paint. And that's a unique feature to our product. The next component are protective covers for the fabric to ride in. The fabric's going to be riding inside that tray profile, and we put a very soft plastic guide in so the fabric isn't rubbing on the aluminum extrusion, but rather the seams and hems of the fabric are riding on that soft plastic guide. The next step in the process is to put the roller tube with the fabric already rolled up onto the awning. What you're seeing now is called the idle end of the awning. That end of the roller tube will just spin inside that end bracket. Inside the other end of the roller tube, we're putting in the electric motor, which will operate the awning. This is a highly specialized motor that will insert completely inside of our roller tube and operate the awning. It's a remote-controlled motor. It also has a manual override so that it can be operated manually as well as electrically. And it also has a feature called torque sensing. And that's an automatic device to make sure that the awning always retracts completely when you want it to retract. The awning that we're manufacturing now is a remote-controlled awning. When this gets to the customer's home, it won't require any wiring of switches inside the home. It's a radio frequency broadcaster, has remote control. And what Fred needs to do now is program the motor to that transmitter to establish the communications between the two. The communications between the motor and the transmitter have now been established. We're ready to finish this awning. The next step will be to attach the front profile to the front edge of the fabric. As you can see, this is a rather large front profile. And this will be the front of the cassette housing that we spoke about earlier. This awning will retract completely inside a housing, and this front profile will be the front section of that housing. Fred is removing the safety straps from the awning, preventing the arms from moving on us during assembly, and we're just about ready to run this awning for the first time. As I said earlier, this awning is 15 feet wide, and it's going to project off of this production rack 13 feet. Fred will give the awning a visual inspection, and then he'll do a process called setting the limit switch. That tells the awning to run to full projection each time and then stop, so that you always have a nice taut, tight fabric cover. After Fred sets this, the awning will run to that position every time when the projection button on the remote control is pressed. We're getting close to being complete on this awning. The final profile to go on the awning is the hood, and that's the top of the cassette that the awning is going to retract into. And the hood will be engaged into the brackets that were previously installed on the awning. Notice that on the front profile of our awning is another exclusive feature, unique feature to Craft Built's awnings. We have a built-in rain gutter system. As rainwater comes off of the fabric, it deposits into this channel, runs to the outside, and drains through a weep system built into the end cap that Fred will be putting on now. This is the end cap and end plate system that will work with our rainwater runoff drainage system. Water will drain through this channel into this end cap and weep through the underside of this. Fred is putting the finishing touches on this awning, and then it'll be ready to go to our packaging station. Just wanted to point out that this is only one of our assembly stations that's being worked on. As we move up to the right here, you can see 2, 3, and 4 more assembly stations where we can build product simultaneously. And I think right now we have one that's just about ready to come off of the production rack and go to the packaging station. You'll notice that this is a different style of awning. This is called our estate model. This is an estate model that does not have the hood or the protective cassette. It's still a very, very fine awning. Many of the same features that are found in our Manor awning are found in this model, but as I said, this one does not have the protective cassette. We're ready to move this awning into packaging now, so Ray is going to get it ready to go to packaging.